Most of us go through life completely asleep. We don't really know what to focus on or where we should place our attention. But what if we could begin to really wake up and really live our lives? I'm Dr. Alan Johnson, and on this channel I talk about the mind, well-being, productivity, and change for thinkers, makers, and everyone in between. The American philosopher Henry David Thoreau once wrote, "To be awake is to be alive." And in saying this, Thoreau emphasized the importance of being fully present and fully engaged with our lives. And his time at Walden Pond was an experiment in simple, deliberate living, highlighting how disengaging from the chaos of everyday life can lead us to a greater sense of awareness and fulfillment. For several years, I lived in Hong Kong, which is a city that is constantly going 24/7. And the infamously crowded subway system runs so smoothly and so efficiently that it gets millions of people around all the time. But there was one day that I got home to my flat and I didn't actually remember taking the subway home from work. I had switched into complete autopilot. Autopilot took over and I kind of was asleep until I found myself back at home. Attention to the present moment is what prevents us from missing the important parts in our life. So missing my commute home in a busy city is not something I regret missing, but there's so much of our lives that we do miss by falling asleep at the wheel in that type of way. Psychologists Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert at Harvard found that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. And usually, that's something that makes them really unhappy. And to test this, they used an iPhone app to gather 250,000 data points on their subjects' thoughts, feelings, actions, and how they went about their day-to-day lives. And as they wrote in their study, a human mind is a wandering mind, and a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. Killingsworth and Gilbert continue, the ability to think about what is not happening is a cognitive achievement that comes with an emotional cost. Living without attention, switching into automatic pilot, can ultimately deplete our energy and vitality. Or we can travel through life without really being aware of it. The poet William Carlos Williams used to do something really cool. He carried a notebook around with him to record, and this is what he referred to it as, things I noticed today that I have missed until today. And this practice of noticing can really begin to increase our awareness and our appreciation of the small and oftentimes overlooked details in our life. Killingsworth and Gilbert wrote in the journal Science, "Many philosophical and religious traditions teach that happiness is to be found by living in the moment, and practitioners are trained to resist mind wandering and to be here now." And many studies have shown that this form of present moment awareness or mindfulness can reduce stress, improve attention, and ultimately enhance our emotional well-being. The state of flow that's defined by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi is a state of complete immersion and optimal experience in an activity where we are fully engaged, fully focused, and we begin to lose our sense of self-consciousness. And we can achieve flow state through a number of different means. First of all, through intense concentration, being really fully involved in the moment. Second, the merging of action and awareness. So the activity almost becomes familiar to us with little distinction between thinking and doing. We haven't switched completely into automatic pilot. We're still aware of what we're doing, but we're doing it in an aware and present way. Because the third thing that emerges is loss of reflective self-consciousness. We become not concerned with ourselves or how we're perceived by others when we enter into a flow state. And we also lose a sense of control. we begin to have this feeling of mastery over the activity. There's oftentimes a distorted sense of time in flow state, where time might seem to speed up or slow down. Flow is often achieved when the challenge of the task matches the individual's skill level, and there's a balance between challenge and skill. And sometimes it's the mundane and simple activities of everyday life that can lead to flow state and that can lead to us really connecting to the moment. Activities like cooking or walking or even washing the dishes can become flow meditative states when done with full attention, full mastery, and full awareness. And slow living and minimalism emphasize simplicity in life. This is something that I try to practice as a way to bring more awareness to my life. A tool that I also use as well is when I hear a notification on my phone, rather than immediately picking it up, I use that notification to encourage me to just pause and just check in with where I am at the moment. It's really important for us to begin to wake up to life through the attention that we give to it. Our focused awareness, slow living, and a commitment to the small details of life can all help us cultivate a greater sense of presence as we begin to notice the small details in our daily life and begin practicing being present. And like and follow for more videos like this about the mind, productivity, and how we can live our fullest lives.